Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about The Housemaid. The Housemaid from 2025, last year, okay, with Sydney Sweeney, Amanda Seyfried, and Brendan Skellner. I think that's his name. Whatever, he's a wuss. Okay, yes, we're going to talk some more about that movie here, and I hope y'all are staying warm, because it's pretty damn cold out there right now. It's pretty damn cold out there. All right. Yeah, stay warm. I mean, I'm bundled up, man. I got like 4 days worth of food and stuff. So like, I ain't going nowhere. Okay. Staying here where it's warm. Okay. I hope that's what you're doing as well. Okay. So let's talk about The Housemaid here. Now, this is not a great film. It is a profitable film though. It's actually making money. Go figure. I can look it up real quick, but, Sydney Sweeney, who is the it girl right now, and it's not really her that's famous, it's her boobs that are famous. Okay. You know, she's representing femininity right now, sexuality. Okay. Basically, she's a sexy woman, which Hollywood has not given us in a good 10, 12 years, because it goes against feminism. You're not supposed to be viewed as an object. You're supposed to be viewed for your accomplishments and stuff. Feminism tells you that what you accomplish is more important than what you look like. Okay. In other words, you have to be a CEO. You have to make, 100,000 plus. You know, you got to own your own house. You've got to, do all these incredible things on your own without any help from a man. And then once you've achieved all these things, then you can start searching for, a dude to have a family with. Okay. Basically, it's feminism has turned women into men. Okay, that's actually the life pattern for most men. Okay, it was, you got to accomplish yourself first, and then you become more attractive to a woman. Once you have more resources, once you have a better psychology, once you've had more experiences in your life, you're more mature, all those kind of things. That's when women start, becoming attracted to you. Okay, but when you're young, you've got no money, you're dumb, you're horny all the time. This stuff turns off women. Okay. They want someone who's more established. Okay. That's typically the way it used to be. It's not that way anymore. Okay. Women are now just like being told that you just go out to have sex with as many hot guys as you can. Don't worry about it, because in your 30s and stuff, some high value man is going to, hit you up. Or in your 40s, like if you believe Sex and the City. Now, I've reviewed every single episode of Sex and the City. It's on this channel. I know what I'm talking about. Okay. And that's a load of crap. All right, but that's still what they sell to women, and women buy it because it's better than facing reality. Okay, until reality hits them right in the friggin' face, and then all of a sudden, boom! Diego was right the whole time. I should have listened to him. Okay, but I know a lot of you young women don't believe me. You think I'm full of it. Okay, whatever. Blah blah blah. It's your life. You do what you want. Okay. Hopefully it works out for you. But I'm telling you right now. Okay, if you keep believing in the crap that they're feeding you, that they're telling you to believe in, okay, you might be a little bit disappointed. Okay. So anyway, The Housemaid here, it came out last year, okay, directed by Paul Feig. Yes, that's how you pronounce his name. He's the same guy that directed Bridesmaids, which was a good movie. That's with Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy. I actually liked that movie a lot. I thought it was very funny. Okay, and what else did he do? He did the female Ghostbusters from 2016, the one that everybody hated. Okay, yeah, he did that as well. And he did this. Okay, he also did some Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy, because he loves Melissa McCarthy. Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy movie where they play spies or something. It's just stupid. Just dumb. And I think, didn't they do that with like Rebel Wilson, I think, as well? Like Rebel Wilson and some other like regular actress were like spies or something, or whatever. It's the chick flick genre. Anyway, so right now, wow. Right now, The Housemaid is at $295 million, which is not a lot of money. I mean, it's more money than the Marvels made, 2 years ago. And that was a Marvel Disney movie, okay, with Brie Larson as the star, okay. Academy Award winning Brie Larson and Samuel Jackson as the stars of that movie. And that movie made less than that. And that movie cost like $400 million to make. So they lost a lot of money. Okay, this movie made more than the Marvels did, and this movie only cost $35 million to make. Can you imagine that? $35 million, and it made almost $300 million. Okay, now once you take away like the theater cut and then the marketing and expenses and all that, I'm pretty sure this movie probably made about $100 million plus. in profit. Okay, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. Okay. Now, Sydney Sweeney's been cranking out these chick flicks like a friggin' machine gun for the past 7 years. All of them have sucked. None of them made any money. None of them were good. Okay, most people, including you, did not go see them. Okay, you didn't go see Madam. I saw Madam Web. You didn't go see Madam Web, and she was only a side character in that one, and she did not look attractive in that one. They purposely made her look less attractive than the other women that were in that movie. Okay, specifically Dakota Johnson. All right, she also made a whole bunch of other movies. I mentioned it already. She did one last year called Christine, something like that, where she's this female boxer, okay, who's ugly, and she's a lesbian. But she's married to a dude. Go figure. I guess he's abusive, because all men are abusive. We all know that, right? Watch any chick flick, the men are always assholes. They always beat the shit out of the women and stuff, whatever. Yeah, she did that movie, and she made herself look ugly in that movie because she's trying to win an Oscar. Okay, she's trying to get noticed not just for her body, okay, but for like whatever else she's got, which she really doesn't have that much to offer. Okay, anyway, so that movie gained no Oscar buzz, nothing. Nobody went to go see it. She's done a lot of movies like that. Okay, she did a chick flick with Glenn Powell. She actually cheated on her fiance. Okay, to have sex with Glenn Powell, her co-star in this movie. I think it was called Not You or something like. I don't remember. I didn't see it. Okay. And Glenn Powell was like the it guy until Running Man came out last month or 2 months ago, and that one kicked him off the gravy train that he was riding. Okay, and this movie should have kicked Sydney. The only thing that kept Sydney Sweeney on that gravy train, despite all these flops, is that American Eagle jeans ad that she did, which got so much publicity. Okay, because here you had a sexy woman doing a commercial for jeans, and these are jeans that women wear. Okay, feminism dictates that you cannot have a sexy woman wearing jeans. Okay, you've got to have average. You got to have representation. You got to have a fat lesbian wear those jeans. Okay, unattractive. Okay, or better yet, a trans woman wears those jeans. Okay, because that's representation. That's what they demand. You can't have a sexy woman with big tits wearing those jeans. Okay, God forbid she raise a dick in the room, and then that goes against feminism right there. Men can't get turned on. All right, and she breaks this. She violates that rule, which is why American Eagle sold like a record number of jeans last year. It was because of Sydney Sweeney and her tits. Okay, unfortunately, they have not really been casting her as sexy. They've been trying to get her like to win women over. Anyone in their right mind would know that if you make a movie for men and you put Sydney Sweeney in there, they're gonna go see it. Not because she's the most beautiful woman in the world. She's not. Not because she's a great actress. She's not that great of an actress. Okay, her voice is terrible. Her face looks kind of like a chipmunk, to be honest with you. Especially in this movie, there's scenes like that. It's not that. Okay, it's just that she is sexy. Okay, and men have been denied sexy in Hollywood. It's one of the reasons people don't go to movies anymore. There's no sexy women anymore. You can't have a sexy woman. You can have a pretty woman in a movie. You can have an average looking woman in a movie, and everyone in the movie is going to treat her like she's a 10, even though she's in real life mid. She's like a 5 or a 6. I'm looking at you, Florence Pugh. I'm looking at you, what's her, Dakota Johnson. Okay, these women are mid, but they get treated like they're 10s. Okay, which makes the mid women out there think that they should be treated like a 10 as well. No, only 10s get treated like 10s. Sorry, ladies. Only 10s get treated like 10s. Okay, I wouldn't put Sydney Sweeney as a 10, but look-wise, I'd give her a solid 8. Yeah, she's definitely an 8. She won't be an 8 forever. Eventually, she's going to get older, and her tits are going to sag, and another big-tittied beauty is going to take her place in Hollywood. But for right now, she's the it girl because she represents sexy. Okay, she represents what men want to see, which pisses off feminists because feminists don't like that at all. Okay, yeah. Okay, and so if she was smarter, she would have her agent cast her in movies instead of appealing to women, appeal to men. Okay, that's why she had so many flops, because she was making the wrong types of movies. She was making movies to try to appeal to women because that was her fan base. She was on some TV show called Euphoria with butt ugly Zendaya on there. Okay, and apparently that was her breakout role. I never watched that show. I'm not gay. Okay, but apparently that was her breakout role, and because of that, she started getting offered movie. Her character got killed off or some shit. I don't know. Show got canceled, whatever, and they started offering her movie roles, little movie roles first, like Madam Web. Okay, but then eventually, now she's starring in movies. Okay, her name is trying to sell the movie, and this is the first movie with her name on the marquee that actually sold, that actually made a profit. So now we're gonna get more Housemaid. Okay, Housemaid 2 Electric Boogaloo is right around the corner. Okay, there's going to be a whole cinematic universe of housemaids. Okay, eventually they're going to have the groundsman, okay, with this Enzo gay guy, okay, and he's going to be out there fighting the patriarchy as well, okay, while scooping up dog shit. Okay, so yeah, that's coming as well. It's going to be a whole cinematic universe. Just get ready. This is the one that just kicked it off. This is the one that lit the match. Okay, but here it comes. Eventually we're going to have a housemaid endgame, okay, where all the different parallel multiverse versions of the housemaid are going to come together to fight one fucking male chauvinist, and eventually they're going to kill Donald Trump. All right, that's where it's going. That's the storyline they're building right now. Okay, and every single man they come across will get emasculated. Okay, he will get castrated. Okay, because we all know that's what men deserve, right? Like, God forbid anything like that ever happened to a woman. No, that would never be allowed in Hollywood. But you can do it to a man. That's fine. Okay. Anyway, so that's what this is, because men are all pieces of shit. We all know that, right? Okay. And this movie just verifies that. Okay. So that's what The Housemaid is. It's doing very well. Like I said, almost $300 million, which is a lot of money for a movie that only cost $35 million to make. So we're going to get a lot more Housemaid. All right. Now let's get into the movie here. Okay. Now where we left off last time. Okay. What do you call it? Millie went to go see her parole officer. Okay, her family that she's working for, Nina Winchester and her husband Andrew, do not know, or supposedly they don't know, that Millie is actually an ex-con. We don't know what she went to jail for, but she was in prison for 10 years. She still owes 5 years of her sentence, but she got let loose on parole. And so on parole, she had a job at a place called Charlie's. I'm guessing that's a bar or a restaurant or something, but she quit that job or left that job. We don't know what the circumstances were. And then she was living in her car. She was using public bathrooms to wash herself and stuff. And then she got hired as a housemaid because she faked her resume. Okay, she's a college graduate, going to school in New England, probably some Ivy League school in New England, whatever, blah, blah, all this bullshit. Anyway, she got interviewed as a housemaid by Nina Winchester, who lives in this mansion in upstate New York. Okay, and she has a 7-year-old daughter, and her husband's name is Andrew, and he's like this super good-looking guy. We're talking ripped abs, 6'2", hung to his shoe, square-jawed, millionaire, all that kind of stuff. Okay, and she has a daughter named Cece, who's a ballerina student, whatever. And they live in this beautiful, expensive house, mansion. They got a groundsman named Enzo, who's actually played by an Italian, not a Mexican. Okay, and he's very creepy, just like does shit with his eyebrows, but doesn't talk. Okay, anyway, so despite the fact that her resume was fake, she got hired as a housemaid. Okay, and her room is basically this dungeon room in the attic. It only has one way in and out, a heavy oak door that can only be locked from the outside. Okay, despite the fact that she has a key now, how the hell is that key gonna help her when the door is locked from the outside? Okay, there's a little mini fridge in there with a couple of bottled waters in there. No bathroom in her room. She's got to go down 2 flights of stairs and then across a hall, okay, to use her bathroom. Okay, and that's it. There's a little window in there that does not open, and even if it did open, she could not fit through there anyway. So what's the point? Okay, anyway, so that's it. That's her circumstance, and she lives there as a housemaid. Okay, and they do not know that there's an ex-con living there. That she hired an ex-con. Okay, to take care of her daughter and to clean the house and cook for them. Okay, so all that's going on here. Okay, we find out that if she loses this job, which is bullshit, by the way, if she loses this job, then she will be forced to go back to prison and fulfill the remaining 5 years of her sentence. That makes absolutely no sense. The house is creepy. The family is creepy. Her boss, Nina, played by Amanda Seyfried, is a friggin' psycho, okay, with mood swings out the ass. She's like bipolar. She lies, everything. She trashes stuff. Okay, then she blames Millie for it. This is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous circumstance. No human being would ever agree to work under these circumstances. In a room that can be locked from the outside with a door that you cannot open that has scratch marks on it. Clearly somebody was locked in there in the past and they try to claw their way out. Okay, a window that does not open. No fucking bathroom. The room is fucking soundproof. Okay, Nina takes away Millie's phone and gives her a new phone, which obviously can be turned off at will. It can be tracked. Okay, and so Millie just gives up her own personal phone and starts using this phone. Okay, this is ridiculous. Okay, no one would ever agree to this. This is a load of shit. But the movie's asking you to fucking keep eating the shit sandwich that's put in front of you. And those of you keep eating it. Okay? Once I started seeing all these ridiculous circumstances, there's no way I could believe the rest of the fucking movie. Okay? And sure enough, the rest of the movie is unbelievable. All right, so moving right along, all that's going on here. Okay, Millie gets a call from Nina when she's leaving her parole officer meeting. Okay, Nina tells her that she has to go pick up Cece, that's her 7-year-old daughter, by 1:45 from ballet class. And then she says, don't be late, and then she hangs up on her. Well, you know, Millie calls back. Like, what the hell? Like, what's the address of this ballet class? I don't even know where the hell the school is. Okay, well, of course, Nina's not answering her phone now. So now she's afraid. She doesn't know what to do. She's got to go pick up this girl, but she does not know where the ballet school is. So she starts like going through Google and shit and maps. Okay, you know. Okay, eventually she does find the address and she races over there. Okay, to figure out where the school is. She arrives at the ballet school just in time, just as classes are ending, and then she meets one of the other moms there. The other mom's name is Patrice. Okay, and she's this stuck-up white bitch. Okay, you know, thinks she's better than everyone else. Okay, and Cece's there, but Cece tells Millie that I'm spending the night at my friend Emma's house tonight. I'm not going home with you. Okay, and Millie tells Patrice says like, yeah, we already arranged it with Nina. And Millie said, well, Nina called me today and told me to pick up Cece, so maybe Nina changed her mind. So Patrice calls Nina, okay, and she's like, yes, okay, so, okay, good. Yes, I know, good help is hard to find these days. Okay, cool. And she's like, do you want to talk to Nina? And Millie's like, no. Okay, then I guess you can go. So it turns out that Cece is going to spend the night with her friend Emma, who's this Asian girl, and the mom's white, but whatever. Okay, so Millie feels like she just got punked. Okay, like what the hell? You told me to go over here and pick up your daughter and not be late. I showed up only to find out that your daughter is supposed to leave with this woman instead. This is a load of shit. Okay, why'd you do that to me? So that's how Millie's feeling right now. She feels embarrassed. Okay, you know, so Millie's pissed off, and then she leaves. She goes back to the house, and what do we see here? When Millie arrives at the house, Nina's there in the living room talking to this old lady. The old lady's played by Elizabeth Perkins. You remember her? She was the woman that had sex with a 12-year-old boy in Big, although he was in the body of a 25-year-old man, Tom Hanks. Okay, that's Elizabeth Perkins. She's bigger in the 80s. You know, she was in About Last Night with Rob Lowe. She played Demi Moore's best friend, who was this stuck-up, a child-hating bitch. Okay, and then she ends up having sex with Jim Belushi in that movie. You know who Elizabeth Perkins is. Of course, my generation, we know her from, she was in the Flintstones movie with John Goodman, Rick Moranis, butt ugly Rosie O'Donnell, and who played Betty Rubble, go figure. Oh my God, Betty Rubble was pretty in the cartoon. Okay, and Elizabeth Perkins plays Wilma Flintstone in that movie. Okay, that's where I remember her from. Okay, from those movies. And she's done a lot of shit. She's a character actor. She shows up in a lot of stuff. She was in a movie called 28 Days Later, which was about alcoholism. It starred Sandra Bullock, where she gets put into rehab because she gets drunk and crashes her car into someone's house, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, and I remember Elizabeth Perkins played Sandra Bullock's sister in that movie. All right, so now she's an old lady with white hair and all that kind of shit, and she's there playing a stuck-up bitch. What a stretch for her. Okay, Nina calls her Mother Winchester, but her name is Evelyn. Okay, Mother Winchester, okay? So Nina berates Millie in front of Evelyn. She says, Nina tells Millie right there in front of the old lady, I told you Cece was having a sleepover. There was no need to make a scene. Okay, which is a lie. That's not what she told Millie. Evelyn looks at Millie all like that, okay, rolling her eyes like a bitch that she is. Evelyn says, this is how you allow the help to dress in your home. I want you to put these dishes somewhere safe. Andrew loves them, and Nina is likely to trip over herself and smash them. And at this, Nina's like, you're so right. I'm a klutz. Okay, now the topic here is these dishes. There's these china, which apparently are very expensive. I don't know. I can't tell. I don't give a shit about that stuff. But that's why Evelyn showed up. She showed up to bring this expensive dishware, this china that her son Andrew loves so much. Take care of it. Put it somewhere safe. Okay? And that's what she orders Millie to do. Okay? Andrew arrives right at that moment. Okay, he kisses his mom goodbye. Hello, mother. Of course, Andrew, of course, is played by Brendan Skellner. Okay, the male model. The stud of the movie. He's not a normal guy. He doesn't work at Walmart or nothing. He's got to be. He's tall, square jawed, handsome. He's smart. He's filthy, stinking rich. I mean, the suit he's wearing probably cost him like 10 grand. Okay, like super wealthy. Ripped abs. He has a wife beater permanently attached to his body at all times. He's got like a 16-foot cock. All those things, okay, because you can't have an average guy in these movies. He's got to be all these things, okay? Those are the only kind of men that exist in these movies, right, ladies, right? Okay? When you get horny, you can't just fuck some beer-bellied guy, okay, that works as a fucking auto mechanic at Firestone, okay? You can't do that. No, he's got to be fucking 6'2", hung to his shoe, fucking 8-pack going on here, square-jawed, with a tongue that won't fucking quit, and all that kind of stuff, right? That's the only kind of guy that women have sex with in these movies, because that's the only kind of guys that women have sex with in real life, right? Exactly, okay? Representation all the fucking way. All right. So all that's going on, and that's Andrew. He shows up there, okay? He kisses his mom, blah, blah, blah. Calls his mother's hair fabulous. She's, oh, mother, fabulous. Your hair looks fabulous, not a root in sight. So he's looking at her hair to see if her roots. So obviously, your mom colors her hair, okay? Bleach blonde, okay? Like Bridget Nielsen type, That's what Evelyn has, okay? And he says, like, can't wait to eat off these plates. That's what he tells his mother. Okay, moving right along. Okay, at 1:30 a.m., the next scene, Millie can't sleep. She's tossing and turning in her bed, in her dungeon attic room upstairs. Okay, it's 1:03 a.m. She can't sleep. Now, when she was interviewed with Nina showed her around the house. There's a huge spiral staircase that goes down to the basement room. The basement room is Andrew's man cave. That's where he's got the big screen TV, the comfortable couch. He's got a bar there. He's got candy there. He's got all sorts of snacks there. That's his man cave. When Nina interviewed Millie, okay, she told her, you and your big tits can come down here anytime you want. You're practically family. And you can come down here and watch TV anytime you want. Okay, that was during the interview. So now Millie's going to take up Nina on her offer. She's going to go downstairs in the middle of the night and watch some TV, just hang out, eat some snacks, whatever, because she can't sleep. So she goes down there to the man cave, okay, with her tits bouncing up and down. They actually get to the basement before she does. Okay, she shows up like a good 5 minutes later. Okay, and she helps herself. There's a snack area. There's like a bunch of candy there, like Junior Mints. She grabs a box of Junior Mints, product placement right there. Okay, and then she sits down and starts watching the Family Feud. And I'm not talking to Steve Harvey or that dude from fucking Home Improvement. Okay, the guy with the beard. I'm talking to you old school. I'm talking Richard Dawson. Okay, I'm talking the pussy magnet Richard Dawson. That guy. Okay, I remember him when I was growing up. Oh my God, Saturday Sad. Yeah, all the time. I love that. He was on Hogan's Heroes before. He was an actor. Yeah, he was an actor and a stand-up comedian. Okay, before he got the job as the host of Family Feud. This guy he had that job for a long time. This guy was a major cunt hound. Okay, Richard Dawson, yes, he wore these outrageous suits, even for the 70s. They were outrageous suits, okay? But he was known, okay, for fucking a lot of the women. He was straight, for fucking a lot of the contestants. He did. He fucked, he has like the record for fucking the most game show contestants, okay? Okay, he didn't just kiss them to be nice on the show, okay? He did that show to get paid and laid, okay? He did that show to get paid and laid, okay? He's a big cunt hound. He used the fact that he was a famous game show host and these were just average people that were so excited to be on a fucking a game show, that he would fuck them. He would. That's why he was always kissing the young, hot women. He never kissed the grandmas on the lips. He only kissed like the young 18-year-olds on the lips, all right? Because he was plowing them out. Probably the reason why they won so many games. He might have rigged it. I don't know. He might have. But he was known to do that. And if you don't believe me, okay, he fucking married one of his contestants, okay? Look it up. Richard Dawson married one of his contestants that he met on the fucking show that he was the host of, okay? That's a fact. Okay, he was also married to some starlet, okay? I remember, not the game show, another one before that, who just cheated on him all the time, stole all of his money in divorce. Yeah, this woman fucked him up big time. And apparently Richard Dawson was a big asshole too. Okay, not just because he fucked the contestants, but he had orgies and shit at his house that his wife would arrange and stuff, 3 ways and 4 ways, all that kind of crap was going on. Unfortunately, his slut of a wife was cheating on him too, so when he found out about it, he went crazy, but she took him for alimony. Okay, so he ended up having to he had to stay on the Family Feud longer than he wanted to. I think he did that show for like 11 years straight, and then he retired and they got someone else, and he came back because the ratings went to shit when he was gone. Okay, but yeah, and he was a stand-up comic before he did Family Feud, before he did Hogan's Heroes. That's what he was, a stand-up comic. I've never seen a stand-up, but I can only imagine. What I really liked about Richard Dawson, besides that he fucked all the contestants, was that he was in a movie. Okay, he actually was in a movie. Yeah, he was in a movie called The Running Man. Okay, not the one that just came out a few months ago with Glenn Powell. Not that one. Okay, the original one from like 1988. Okay, or it might have been 87 with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was based on a Stephen King short story. Okay, I read that book too. Okay, he played Dan Killian, who was the host of the game show The Running Man. Okay, in the 80s. All right, it was like a reality show. Okay, and he was a game show host. So he was a game show host playing a game show host in a movie, but he was playing an evil game show host. So basically, he got to play himself. Okay, he was this total asshole in The Running Man. If you look at the scenes he's in, he berates everybody. He acts like a fucking kid. Okay, he yells at everybody. He's a two-faced, backstabbing piece of shit, which he was in real life as well. But in the movie, he actually gets to play that, an evil game show host. An evil game show host playing an evil game show host. How awesome is that? Okay, that's what you call verisimilitude. That's realism. Okay, that's the method acting right there. All right, so I thought that was awesome. Cad Ray Cola, it hits the spot, and then he gets killed at the end. So everybody said, yeah, anyway. Yeah, Richard Dawson. So yeah, they're watching that one, the old school Family Feud. All right. So all that's going on here, okay, they're watching Family Feud. Andrew shows up. He scares her. I guess he was creeping around down there, okay, and Millie did not know it. He has his surgically attached wife beater on. Of course he does. Okay, and he starts up a conversation with her. Obviously, Nina, his wife, is not there, and they both sit down on the couch. And he's like, oh, Family Feud, man, that's awesome, man. That's Richard Dawson. And she's like, oh, I don't know who that is. I watched with Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey's a piece of shit. But there's another guy who lost all of his money to his wife that divorced him, okay? He had to give her like $150 million in the divorce. He lost a lot of his shit, okay? He did all the work. She never had to tell one joke in her whole fucking life. He did or host one fucking show or anything like that, okay? But yeah, she got over half of his fortune in the divorce, okay? And what was left of his fortune, he got raped. He had to pay all that in back taxes. He owed the IRS something like, I think it was like $50 million or some shit. Like, yeah, yes. Okay, so he had to do Family Feud, okay, because that fucker was broke. He had to, all right? And Steve Harvey, that guy, man, what I really hate about Steve Harvey is that, he's the guy that, shows up at yoga class, okay? What do I mean by that? Okay, whenever you see a guy in yoga class, okay, the guy's not there to do yoga. He's there to get laid. He's going to a place where he knows it's going to be mostly women, and he's going to be the only guy, okay? So when you're in a desert, the only glass of water you see is the one you're going to drink, all right? And he knows that, and that's what he did, and that's what Steve Harvey is to me. He's the guy that shows up on daytime television where all the women are there. It's not men watching that shit. Okay, he had his own talk show. Okay, I think it was called Harvey or Steve Harvey, whatever the fuck it was. All right, it was all women. It's like Oprah. He's like the male Oprah, where they're all talking about women's issues, and he's there to give you a man's point of view. And by man's point of view, he's just telling fucking fat women that they're pretty, that you're a queen, you can get any man you want, but even though they weigh like 300 pounds. He does that shit because he wants these women to feel good about themselves. So he pretends to be, I'm here to represent men because there's no other men around right now. So I'm going to tell you the truth about men. Unlike me, who tells you the real fucking truth, ladies. If you're fucking fat, you're not going to get fucking laid. At least not by a fucking high value guy. That's fucking for sure. But Steve Harvey ain't gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you that. That's what pisses me off about him. Okay, because he's always out there spouting this bullshit to women, making them think that all men care about is how much money a woman makes, and how loving she is and all that crap. Not the fact that she weighs 500 fucking pounds or is a gold digger or any of that fucking shit. Okay, he doesn't tell us that part. He tells you, oh, well, a man just wants a woman who has sensitivity. That's bull fucking shit. But that's the crap. That's the crap that he tells women, okay? Because that's what gets women to come back and watch his fucking TV shows. So he lies to women. He lies to desperate, unattractive women. in order to get them to buy his fucking products and watch his fucking show. And that's why I can't fucking stand him. You notice I'm not charging you anything to listen to this or watch this. That's because that's not what I'm here to do. Okay, the best things in life are free. And that's what I'm trying to give you. I'm giving you a straight man's point of view about this fucking movie that's aimed at women because it's full of fucking lies. If you believe this fucking shit, man, I got a bridge I want to fucking sell you, okay? Because a lot of this shit you see here is not realistic at all. Okay, that's what I'm trying to point out here. All right? So this guy comes downstairs, okay? Andrew starts a conversation with his housemaid, Millie. They're talking about Family Feud. Apparently, he idolizes Richard Dawson. Okay, he has the best suits. He's a fashion icon. That's what he calls Richard Dawson, a fashion icon. Okay, he describes his mom and family as a bunch of vultures. Okay, that's what he says. Okay, Millie says that she does not keep in touch with her family. We don't know why, and guess what? We never will either. We have no idea Millie's family situation at all. It's never brought up again. Okay, but she just says that she doesn't keep in touch with them. Okay, and Andrew brushes his hand against her leg, which, you know, just by like he did it on purpose. Like, it's a move. I've done that move myself. Okay, where I go like, hey, look, there's something in your hair, like that. Okay, and it's like, you know, so I've done the move. I'm not going to judge him for that. I've done that as well. Okay, he brushed the bag against her knee or something like that, like. All of a sudden, the juices just start flowing. Because you got to remember, okay, Millie has not been laid in 10 years. She's been in prison for 10 years. So she got laid, just not by a man, okay, in 10 years, all right? So this is like, Now, just think about this for a minute, okay? Look at Millie, okay? She did not let prison turn her into some butch dyke, okay? She came out of prison looking like a fucking porn star, okay? How realistic is that? Okay, I've seen bitches that come out of prison. They don't look like that. Especially not ones that have done 10 years of hard time. They don't look like fucking Sydney Sweeney does right now, okay? So get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, all right? Anyway, and the fact that she still talks like she's fucking a college student or something, get the fuck, she's in fucking prison for 10 fucking years, okay? Get the fuck out of here, all right? She does not act like an ex-con at all, all right? So that's going on here, okay? Yeah, he touches the back of her knee, turns her on. Okay, and I did notice something about Sydney Sweeney. She looks kind of buck-toothed this year. Okay, she's like, you know, like a beaver. Okay, no pun intended for her prison time, but that's kind of what she looks like there. She looks like a chipmunk. Okay, look at her, man. She does. Looks kind of like a chipmunk right there. Look at her face in the close-up. She's got these buck teeth, man. Her face is not that perfect. All right, and her voice sucks. It really does. I don't like her voice at all. Okay, her tits are for days, though. Her tits are for days. I'll give her that. All right, anyway, so that's going on here. She looks kind of buck-toothed. Okay, Andrew flirts with her. Of course he does. Nina's parents, we find out Nina's parents died. Now, he tells the housemaid this information for some fucked up reason. He tells her, oh, by the way, did you know Nina's parents, they died in a house fire? And to this day, we don't know how the fire started because Nina was the only survivor. Like that, okay? Now, we already know that Nina's a psycho, two-faced bitch, okay, with mood swings out the ass. She's bipolar or something, schizophrenic, okay? But now we're hearing this, okay? So it's possible Nina's a murderess, and she started killing when she was a little girl, and she started with her parents. Ooh. You see what I mean? Okay, what kind of a husband would say this shit about his wife to the fucking housemaid? Okay, this is ridiculous. They're supposed to make us believe that he loves his wife. If he loved his wife, he wouldn't bring up this fucking shit to the goddamn help, okay? Anyway, so that's going on here. Okay, Nina arrives, so another jump scare. She just shows up downstairs as well. Okay, she tells Andrew, it's 2 a.m. What are you doing out here? He's like, oh, well, me and Millie were just watching Family Feud. Why don't you come down and sit down with us? We'll all watch it together, huh? Yeah, we'll all watch it together. Together. Okay? Yeah. Okay? That's going on here, but she tells him to get back upstairs, whatever, you know. Okay, so he kisses Nina goodnight, and she says, I'll be up in a minute. Okay, so he goes upstairs. Nina's standing there like, And of course, Millie's sitting there shitting herself because she's scared to death of Nina, okay? And Nina says, this isn't working. So I need you to pack your stuff and leave first thing in the morning before Cece wakes up. You dumb fucking beach. Cece is at Emma's house tonight. For Christ's sake, don't you fucking screenwriters read your own fucking script when you're editing the fucking movie? Cece's not even in the house right now. She's at Emma's house. So why the fuck would you need... All right. All right. You see what I mean? This is a little shit like that. You know what this is called? This is called not giving a shit. That's what this is called. This is called not giving a shit about your own fucking script, your own fucking story. Okay? So Millie, of course, is like, oh, no, please, I didn't know anyone was down here, okay? You said I could use the TV whenever I wanted to, and please, I need this job, please, Nina's like, okay, I'm going to need the phone back too. Because she gave her a phone. Because that has their credit card information in there. It could also be tracked, And for some reason, when Millie took this new phone, she threw her old phone away, or she gave it to Nina for some. Why the fuck would you do that? This makes no fucking sense. Okay, realistically, Millie would have kept her own phone for personal reasons, and she would have used their phone for whenever she needs to do stuff for them. Okay, that's realistically what would happen. All right, but we don't see that here. We don't see any of that here. Okay, that makes no fucking sense at all. All right, so moving right along. Millie, of course, like, oh, let me make it up to you, please, I need this job, please, can you please just give me one more chance, please, just one more chance, I'll eat you out, whatever, I'll just do it, So Nina's like, fine, 1 week, but you're going to have to dress properly around here from now on. And Millie's like, okay, I'm sorry, thank you so much. Yeah, she starts walking away, and she starts walking up the stairs, okay, and then Nina stops her real quick. She's like, oh, by the way, one more thing. And Millie's like, she's turned around and looks at her and goes like, stay the fuck away from my husband. Like that. And Millie's like, so, of course she's going to go fuck Andrew now because, we saw that coming, okay? Now, get the fuck out of here. What we know about Nina so far is that she's a lying, two-faced bitch with mood swings. She cannot control her emotions. She screams, she yells, she lies, she makes a scene. Okay, she's very fake. She fake laughs. She smiles at you while her eyes don't smile back. You know what I mean? She's very fake, very superficial person. Okay, what the fuck is Millie doing working there? She's got the hots for her fucking boss, okay, or for her boss's husband, which is gonna get her fired. She gets fired. She is going to go back to prison. That makes no sense. Why would she work in a place that's not safe? She's in a room that's basically a dungeon that locks from the outside. Okay, at any moment they can lock her in there, and there's nothing she can do about it. Okay, because they control the cell phone that she has. Okay, and the room is soundproof. Okay, there's not even a bathroom in there. Okay, all there is a few bottles of water. Okay, so she could basically disappear. It would be days, weeks, months before anybody could help her. Okay, so, and she knows this already. It already looks like somebody tried to escape from the room once before because of the claw marks on the door, but yet she still agrees to this job. Okay, her boss is a fucking psycho, and she knows her boss is a lying, manipulative piece of shit, but she still agrees to work there. Okay, the little girl that part of her job is to take care of, okay, is a fucking bitch to her as well. Okay, so what the fuck reason is there for her to stay at this fucking job? She should be looking for other jobs. She should be on the internet trying to find another job right now. She should be talking to her parole officer. Hey, listen, I'm gonna have to find something else. I don't feel safe there. I don't like my employers. They don't treat me very well. Okay, that kind of thing. Okay, and any parole officer would understand that. They're not gonna throw her in jail immediately for some shit like that. No, they're gonna give her an opportunity to fucking find another job, which she can do. At worst case scenario, she's working at a fucking titty bar. With those tits, she's gonna make $2,000 on her first fucking night. Okay, and more if she fucking stays on. Okay, so get the fuck out of here. This isn't some desperate woman. She don't look like no fucking desperate woman. Okay. Any guy would be happy to any rich guy would be happy to have this bitch live in his house for free. He'll pay her to live there, okay, as long as she sucks his cock and gives up the fucking skins whenever he wants, okay? And we know goddamn well that's realistic. Look at her, okay? This isn't some fucking unattractive. This ain't fucking Alice from the fucking Brady Bunch, okay? This is fucking Sydney fucking Big Tits Sweeney, okay? Okay, that woman could get any fucking dick she wants. All right, to get the fuck out of here that she's stuck in this situation. Ripley don't believe that shit, so why the fuck do you? All right. Okay, I'm going to stop my review right here while I'll be back to continue my review of The Housemaid. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.